right, hello. Welcome to Avio's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica, and this show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all the crazy things that I seem to step on. It's Thursday. That's right. I've got my coffee. Today I do have my ceremonial pencil. And we're going to dive into a topic that I think everyone, well, at least from my opinion, should be really interested in. And, the topic we're going to be talking about today is how you get business, how you actually get work in voiceover. This is it. This is the holy grail of what we do. This is the number one question that everybody has. Let's be honest, there is no lack of information out there for all of us when it comes to voice acting. I mean, voice acting can be tough to come by one-on-one coaching. That's why I do what I do. But there's no lack of information out there when it comes to how to do stuff, right? How to work on getting your gear set up, how to record microphones. All that stuff is out there. But what you see is not out there very much is actually how you get more business. And I think that is part of it, I think, is done on purpose. But I want to lay out for you the plan, the master plan, if you will. Okay, so whether you were just starting out or whether you've been doing this for a while and you're like, well, crap, I can't seem to get business. What's the deal? And you might ask logically, because I'd be like, hey, why does this guy, what has he done that, gives him the right to give me this advice? And I think it's a fair question. And I have always been a person that has stood on trying to relay information that I actually experience instead of giving you information that I think might work if you did it, but I've not done it. Does that mean that I don't ever give you theories or ideas? No, of course I do. But I'm very careful about giving out information that I've not personally gone through myself, because I don't think that's fair to you. And I think it's just pie in the sky wishes if I did. So with that being said, the reason why I feel that I'm a good candidate is because I'm doing this every single day, just like you. Okay, and the plan I'm going to lay out for you is literally what I have done to, earn between, $7,000 to $12,000 a month in voiceover. Okay, do I earn other money through coaching? Absolutely, I do. I'm open about that. So I do earn more money because of that. But I have always been a big advocate of making sure, as a teacher. And by the way, on a side note, if you're looking for a coach, just make sure your coach is doing the things that you want to do. They're actually doing voiceover work that you want to do, okay? Because it's hard to work with someone who's doing something different and then coaching you to do something that you're trying to do. It doesn't make sense. Anyways, I digress. I want to lay out for you the plan. All right, let's do the plan. Okay, so we're gonna go. It's going to be an easy followed plan. But just like most things that work, they're easy to understand and not so easy to implement. Okay, so of course, the first thing that we all have to do, and we know that we need to get our space put together. We need to have some recording equipment, and we need to be able to produce a quality voiceover. I did a podcast last night, which, by the way, thank you all so much. It's getting like incredible. It's getting incredible downloads already. People really liking it, and it was just like a flashback. I told a story in that, like where I came from questions that have been generated recently about starting in our industry, what you can and can't do in voiceover, what you should use as equipment, how to succeed, how not to succeed. And it's everybody and their brother or sister has their opinion about this. You know what I mean? But I've always tried to just bring to you what actually happens happening with me. So that's why that story last night that I told on my podcast, is the story of what's actually happened with me, where I came from, how I started with, a $40 microphone and, with my PVC pipe, my hobo fort, with packing blankets. I started there and I was able to get to where I am now. Okay, I started with a full-time job and a family and a mortgage and bills, going to work every single day, and I stayed up to 2 a.m. in the morning. I tell you this because it breaks my heart when there are people who think they can't make it work. You can make it work. You can make it work, all right? Don't let anyone ever tell you you can't. You can. And if you ever think about it, I'm proof that it works, okay? It works. I started my podcast. I'm going off subject. Let me get back to the point of this. Anyways, got some fired upness today, right? That's a word. So the first thing we got to do, right, is we got to get all of our space set up, whether it's a hobo fort, whether you purchase insulation, whether you get a whisper room, or you build your own recording booth. You've got to have a space that has a decent sound to it, meaning that you doesn't sound like you're in an echo chamber, okay? You can have a low noise floor, all right? Something that is around at least -50 to -60 dB. That's what we're shooting for. Some people have some people are recording in -40 and things like that. And the louder your space is, it's just more harder. The more you have to process, and the more you have to process your work, the more it degrades it. Okay. So these are just ideas. So, and this, by the way, this video today is not about teaching you how to do all of these things. I do that with loads of other videos, and I will continue to do that. This is about laying out a plan. All right. I always feel like most of us don't have a plan, and we try to learn everything first and then make a plan. Whereas I think we need to make the plan and then learn. So that's the first part, right? Getting the right gear, getting the equipment that you need. Okay. And again, you can find this information, whether it's on me, on my YouTube channel, or other people. And I will continue to put out that. But that's the first part. Being able to produce a quality voiceover. Okay. The next part of this is when we move into, okay, now that I can produce a quality voiceover, what in the world do I do now? Okay. Well, this is where it gets fun or challenging. There's many different ideas. Okay. And some people out there will tell you that at this point, you need to get a coach. You need to start to look for representation, an agent. You need to get a demo. Right? We got to have a demo, and you need to start spreading that around and try to, get somebody working for you to find you business. Okay. That's one way. The other way, okay, is you go out on your own as like a freelancer or a solopreneur, if you would, and try to get, oh, sorry. I'm looking at something that says, hello, Anthony. Am I the only one who is getting audio in only one channel? I don't know. Maybe someone else can see if you're only getting. I should be getting audio in all channels. Maybe somebody could see if I am. If I'm not, let me double check. Sorry, you got me. Here, let me see. Output, audio, streaming. I don't know. It should be. I think we're okay. Let me see. Oh, it won't let me. It won't let me look at it while we're actually doing it. All right, let me actually get out of this. Can everybody hear me okay? You're good here? Okay, well, I know, yeah, on Instagram. Let me see. Looks like, no, I should be fine. Should be fine. Let me know if it's not working. Okay, so maybe it's just, sorry, Tom, maybe it's just you, my friend. All right, so anyways, sorry, Tom, I hope that figure it out. At least you can hear part of it. So anyways, the other way of getting back, I get easily distracted. The only way getting back to this is the other way to get business, right? Is if we actually go out on our own as a freelancer and we try to get work. Now there's a couple different ways we can do that. We can go out and go to P2P sites, right? Pay to play sites where we pay some money and we basically pay these online agents. Because that's what they are. They're online agents. They do the work of marketing, finding work, and they send them to, they get them and they put them on the site and say, all you have to do is put out an audition, all right, and we got all these voice actors that will audition for you. That's one way. We all know, on a side note, that way is dying. I've been saying it for a long time about creating samples, but we'll get to that in a second. But we know that the auditioning all day is dying. It's not working like it used to, okay? Because other sites, like freelance sites, which we'll talk about, that's not happening as much anymore. So there's that way. Then you can go to intermediaries, or these sites like Voquent, or sites like, Voice Realm is not as expensive, but it is a paid site. But places like Voice Jungle, these sites that they are free to join. You might have to be accepted, but they don't cost you money to join. However, they are still managed by a group of people through the site, right? So like the clients are still managed by the site, and that intermediary takes a lot more than, let's say, that 80-20 split that a lot of us have become used to because of Fiverr per se, where, or just in general, where I get 80% of the profit and the platform takes 20%. When in reality, we know like Voice Bunny, Voice123, or Voice Bunny or Voices.com takes way more than 20%. These places take 50, 60%, okay, if not more. Voice Bunny takes more. They could take up to like 70, 80%. It's shocking, all right? But at the same time, they look at it as a client comes to the platform, right? And the platform then is their client, not us. Okay, we work for the platform. So those are the intermediaries. Those are a lot of the sites that are free for us to join, but the work is still curated by the people on the site. The next thing, all right, which is a big thing right now, of course, is the true freelance sites, where it is a platform that is based on we set our own prices, we work directly with the customers, and the platform's job is literally just to bring them traffic, all right, to bring us traffic. They just shove all the traffic to the website, and then it's our job to sell. It's our job to set our prices. It's our job to do everything. By the way, those intermediaries, okay, they don't sell. I mean, they set prices on their own. We don't set the prices. Like, you'll go to certain sites, like I say, I'm on Voice Jungle. I just got another job this morning, and they are very strict about. They have set their prices. Voice Jungle gets their money, and then they say, hey, you want this job for this amount of money? This is what you get. That's it. Same thing with Voquent. Client will come to Voquent, get the job. Voquent will say, hey, do you want this job for this money? If we as a voice actor say yes, great. If no, they say that's fine. We've got 20,000 other people to work with. That's the reality of it. That's how the intermediaries work. By the way, I'm telling you this because the knowledge of this is important. The knowledge of knowing all these things is important for you to be able to decide where to go, where not to go. All right, so at this point, we're talking about freelance. The other part, after we talk about the free places where we determine the money, the next part is going to be we go out on our own. We try to get the business ourselves. Okay, this has always been the way we all wish we could do it, right? To get our own business, because in the end, the reality is with our own business, all right, we are going to be able to charge more than any other place. Okay, if we curate the business, we know that when we charge somebody, okay, they're willing to pay us a little less maybe than they would pay a studio, okay, or an intermediary, but that is still like for the voice actor ourselves, that's still going to be higher than pay-to-play sites. It's going to be higher than anything if we get the business ourselves, okay? The challenge then becomes, though, right, is that we are competing with the pay-to-play sites, with the intermediaries, with places like the freelance sites like Upwork and Fiverr, right? We're competing with these massive machines of marketing. Right? That's what we're competing against. So it becomes difficult to navigate. So you've got all of these things in the voiceover market happening. No wonder why our number one question is, how do we get more work? Where do I even go? And then, of course, I talked about briefly in the beginning, the agents themselves, which, let's be realistic, they're really hurting. They are hurting because the clients are getting less and less, and by the way, you're having more and more people who are, millennials who like to purchase online. Anyways, the point is, I get a lot of work from agents who find me on platforms, and they are telling people they curate, they get a client, and they've got to find voice talent, so they come to me on a platform, and they work through the platform. So I am getting paid a minuscule amount compared to what the end client is making. Okay. And we look at those as middlemen, but they're really not. They're actually the client. So one thing I try to teach and to wrap our mind around when we go say, okay, now I'm going to give you the plan about how to get work. I want you to think about where we are on the food chain when it comes to actually getting work. Because in the end, and I say this out of love, and I'll use myself right off the bat, it's true. For everything that I do, there's one of you out there, or many of you, who can do it just as good or better than I can. It is the truth. I'm not afraid to admit that. It's the truth. And I think I'm okay with that because I've been in acting my whole life. And I know that there are tons of people who are way better than me, tons of people who are not better than me. And then when we try to quantitate who's better, it's subjective because we're acting. So, that is a bad way to look at it. The way to look at it and how you get business is about how you yourself get found, how you yourself get traffic, how you put more eyeballs on yourself. That is the Holy Grail. That's what we have to do, is we've got to get eyeballs on ourselves. Now, there is the way to do that as a freelancer, which is the plan I want to lay out to you today. And I've talked about this in the past a little bit, but I want to make sure that's clear. There is so many sites out there, websites that are available for us to join for free, for a small amount of money in the scheme of things. I know voices.com or voice123 or these other places, they might be expensive, which I know this is crazy to say, and I'm sure there will be many people who will disagree with me about it. But I really think voices.com and voice123, if you've seen, they are trying their hardest to adapt to the Fiverr model. They're trying to. Voice123 implemented booking. They implemented a price structure. All right. Voices.com has tried to implement this, but they're struggling because their sites are based on, Their sites are based on auditioning. Okay. So it's hard for them to switch over, but they know that that's a thing of the past. And we know as voice actors, we don't want to audition, 8 hours a day to get a job once a week or once every 2 weeks or once a month that we can't live off of. That's not the way it is. Right? That's not helpful. So we have to worry about traffic. So anyways, the point is the idea here is that we're not able to compete, though, with the hundreds of thousands, the millions of dollars these people are spending. Right? We can't compete with it. So our job then is to use all of these different sites, to be a part of all of these different sites. I love this idea. It's so and I was talking to Miles, the CEO from Voquit, this morning. We had a great conversation. And he was telling me something about what I thought was funny. He said if someone comes and they ask him, and I'm gonna just say it out there, can you make a living from this site? Same thing with Fiverr or with Voice123 or anything. The answer is no. We can't make a living from one of these sites. But you guys, this is the key. If you add up the total sum of all of these sites and you get yourself on every one of these sites, let's say you join 20 to 25 freelance sites, pay-to-pay sites, and I would use that term loosely, the P2P sites, because the P2P sites are usually based on auditioning. My model is I stay away from auditioning. I do so little auditioning, and I'm still getting work. Yes, I get a lot of work on Fiverr, and the reason that is because Fiverr's driving the most traffic. But I also get work on Voice Jungle. I do get work on Voice Realm, but I'm starting to get work on Voice Realm that I don't audition for. Okay, I've gotten work from Voice123 or Voices.com where they found me, they've gone and searched for me, and they find me on the website, and they buy through my website. I have my website set up that you can buy through my website. You don't have to actually contact me and talk to me. This idea of transacting online is the key. But anyways, getting back to your plan, the plan has to be that you join all of these different freelance sites, these intermediary sites, and let them bring you the business. You put up your samples, you do your daily work to where you are managing your profiles and your accounts on all these different sites. Let them do it, because that's going to be how the world works. I've been an advocate recently about building out your website. I'm going to say it again. This is all my opinions. But I feel that if in the end, just like I said in the beginning, we can make the most money by getting the work ourselves. However, it is the most challenging way. Makes sense, right? The biggest reward, the biggest payoff is going to be the biggest risk and take the hardest amount of work. But that's going to be our biggest payoff. So if you want to go that route, that's a great route to go. But please note that it is not like joining Fiverr or joining these other sites where in reality within the first couple of days or weeks you can get work. But not like this on your own. It's not that easy. Right? Because again, when you go out there on your own, you're in an ocean. Okay, you're in an ocean and you're not going to be seen. You've got to work at it. You've got to build your SEO. You've got to build your sites. This idea of a one-page website, and for a period of time, I thought that was it. I think that's one of the biggest, unfortunately, and I know the people who've said it, they're wonderful people, and that's fine. But I think it's one of the biggest disservices that's ever been done to us as freelancers, is saying that we need a small one-page website. Because that doesn't help us. No one is going to find that. Can you use it as a business card? Sure, but who are we contacting that is going to be using our site? And I'll be honest with you, I do phone calls and emails. I have hired people. They don't want to know my website. They want me to send them my demo so that they can download it. They can have it in their file. They don't want to go to my website because they don't want to deal with all of the craziness, right? Of having to contact someone. What if you don't get back to them? All right. Can I actually find the contact form? So that is one thing that I'm personally doing, is trying to build out my website, but I'm aware that is a long-term thing. Right now, for you to answer the question right here and right now, you have got to be on as many sites as you can. In the sites that you want to be on, the websites that you want to be on for voiceover, freelance websites, intermediary websites, if you pay to be on a site, make sure that the site you're paying for is going to bring you business, okay? And if they do bring you auditions, make sure that the auditions they are bringing you are at a small pool of people that you're going up against. Cattle call auditions are not it's not a long-term plan. Cattle call auditions mean you are going up against hundreds of other people, like voices.com, like Voice123. All right. And I know it's funny in this business too, when you get to certain levels, everything looks a little different because you're up here and you start to look further out and you start to see more people and more voice actors and more businesses and you see what's happening. Okay. It's hard to continue to put everything in perspective. All right. But the reality is we're all working really hard, and I don't want to audition 8 hours a day, every day, and not get a lot of work. How many of you have done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of auditions on voices.com or Voice123 and got no work? All right. I know I have. Maybe I suck. So be it. But then I go a bunch of other places and people love the work I do and pay me really well, which tells me that I don't think it's that we suck. I really don't. I think it's that model of auditioning like that, it's just dying. It's just going away because people don't want to go through all of that mess. We don't want to do it. The client doesn't want to do it when they can go and listen to your portfolio, purchase something, all right, and from you, purchase something from you, and then interact with you. I mean, you can even purchase live direction. You can even, and most of these places, I mean, they allow, I mean, it's a different world that we're moving into. And now more than ever, right? Because we're at home. So, all these people are looking for services more so, and they're looking for them. They've got lots to do. Speed, right? Rules it too. And that like Fiverr touts that it takes less than 15 minutes for someone to get on their site and to purchase. That is unbelievable. How long does it take someone to go on voices.com and get a job? Think about that. They've got to put up something and fill out everything. They got to pick their price. They've got to post an audition. They've got to wait for days. They've got to do all of this stuff. I want you to know these things so that you use the knowledge for power, because where you spend your time determines how much money you're going to make. And you want to leverage that time. So with all of these things being said, the plan here, and this is just from the bottom of my heart, the plan moving forward, okay, is that you've got to get yourself on as many sites as possible and know that you're not going to make a living off of one of them. But if you combine all of them together, you can make a really good, you can make that 50K, that 100K a year. But not if you're just on one site or one place focusing all of your energy. And that means then that you have to look for sites, look for places that are going to bring the work to you, bring the opportunities to you, which right now is eyeballs. It's traffic. We all know, no matter who you are, whether you're being paid $2,000 for for a 15-second spot, or you're being paid $5 for 15-second spot, we all know Fiverr is the marketing machine of our time. We know it. That's undisputed. Okay? They're just out-marketing everyone. So that's why when you go to Fiverr, they're able to get so many people so much work, and on a consistent basis. Some will argue that work is not paying at the rate that they would like to, and that's okay. That's an argument that I don't want to get into in this video. But the reality is that if you want to make a living, you want to make that 50K, that 100K, you've got to spread yourself out on at least 20, 25 sites, or until you find the couple of sites who are bringing you loads of money. Okay? Because you might succeed on Upwork where I succeed on Fiverr, or you might succeed on People Per Hour or Voiver or, Voquent or all these other different places. All right. And I might succeed at these other 2 places or these 5 places. Okay. Wherever it is, it doesn't matter. You've got to get yourself out there, though. All right. That was like 30 minutes of me just going. I hope that was helpful. I hope that was knowledgeable, helpful. I hope you got some information. And if you were ever wondering, hey, Anthony, what the heck do I do? Because again, I've told you this too. That's the number one question. How do I get work? Okay. I mean, there's so many different sites you can go to, including mine, that I'll teach you how to do voice acting. I'll teach you how to I'll make a demo for you. I'll mentor you. I'll help you build your business. I'll help you use your DAW. I'll help you set up I'll help you do all of that. But the biggest thing is, how is someone helping you get work? And that's the number one question I get all the time. It's the number one question people ask when they join my site. So that's why I wanted to do this video today for you. Because moving forward as a freelancer, which is what I am, and I'm telling you what I've done, okay? You all remember that when I was specifically going through and documenting me joining all these different sites and the work that I get, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? And I try to post that in my Facebook group as I do it, but I've not done as much posting how much work I'm getting from other places recently, just because of how busy I've been. But that's the key. That's your key to being self-sufficient, is letting these sites get the work and bring it to you. Okay. Woo! Do you have any questions? Do you have any thoughts? I don't know if anybody does after that. They're like, okay, I need to go take a nap. But I hope that it helped. I hope that it helped a lot. And I'm glad that you guys came. If you get a chance, if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel. As always, thank you. And if you're on YouTube or if you're on Twitter, please retweet this. If you're on Instagram, thank you guys. Please share, add to your story if you'd like. And Facebook, just like and share as always. Thank you guys so much. Please remember, don't waste your time doing so many auditions. Because I really think that auditions are something that the only time I audition anymore is if someone sends me a private audition. They said, hey, we saw you here. We really like what you've done. We'd like you to audition for this piece. That's the only time I audition. Now everything I do is building out my profiles, putting up samples, working on getting seen. Okay? That's it. That's what I do. And that's how I'm making money. And good money. Money that sustains me. If you took away my coaching business, I've always wondered this about coaches, and I want to tell you, if you took away my coaching business, I would still be able to do this full time and live comfortably. I think that's important to tell you. I really do. And I want you to know that. So it's not fluff. All right. And that's why I try to be so transparent with numbers and money that I'm making. I just value that. You know what I mean? I value the honesty, because you never know sometimes whether someone's telling you the truth or not, or they're just telling you something to sell you on something. But if you really want to make money now as a freelancer, you've got to be on all of these websites. Not one, not two, but you need to be on 20, 30. Okay? And cumulatively, you will make a wonderful living. You'll get better. You'll be able to reinvest your money into your studio, into your equipment, into training, into a coach, into your acting. And as you get better as a performer, as a business owner, your revenue will go up. But it has to start with you being seen. And these sites are how you do it. All right, guys. Let's see. We've got any questions, any thoughts? Well, you guys have lots of thoughts, but questions. We got thank you on Instagram. We got McDonald NK says, any advice for African-based VO artists? You know, I love this question because, you know, I think in the U.S., I know for me, it's so easy to think that we're the center of the universe. And, you know, and I'm fully aware of sometimes how naive I can be. And the more I'm doing and the more I'm working with people all over the world, you know, you have to understand too. And by the way, the majority of about 65% of my voiceover work comes from overseas. So, you know, I do a lot of work that's not in the U.S., even though the United States is my number one place where I generate, like the number one country where I generate revenue by far. But total. Right, I generate more overseas than I do in the United States. But I think as McDonald, to answer your question, okay, first off, you need to be getting yourself on these places and looking at what you offer that no one else does. Don't forget, everybody, you are amazing. You are, and I'm not being like some weirdo say, you're special. I'm just saying that you have something to offer, which is the sum of your experiences. Because of that, you have to use that. Yes, nobody sees us when we do a voiceover, but the people who hire us, they want to hire a person. They want to hire someone real. So McDonald, you've got to think that you have to say, you got to be proud that you're an African-based voiceover artist. You can still be involved in these freelance sites and these intermediary sites, okay? And use that. Now, I don't know, clearly you're writing in English, so you must be able to speak English, and I don't know where in Africa you're from. I don't know if it's South Africa. I don't know, what your background is. But for accents right now are huge. I mean, they are so, there's so many people searching for accents and all kinds of different places in the world. Use that. Use that. You'll do an African accent, a South, wherever you are, use that. That's a wonderful selling point because that's who you are. Don't look at it as something that's difficult. Look at it as your greatest asset. Turn it around, right? It's you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, that's awesome. I was working with a client earlier today where she spoke 3 different languages. And I'm like, man, I'm so intimidated by you because I only speak 1 and you speak 3 and it's awesome. And I'm like, man, this is impressive. Use that. That's amazing. And there is so many people now that we are so connected that are looking for that all over the world. Okay. So that's what I would say, McDonald. Use it. Put yourself everywhere and use it. Promote that. All right. Don, how do you know when you are ready to get work? Just go for it. Great question, Don. So I think this is 2 things, right? I mean, there's a confidence thing. I had it, am I good enough? And then the other thing is, can I actually produce something? So my suggestion to you is when you know you're ready to get work is when you can produce a quality audio file. I really believe that. And how you know you can produce an audio file that someone's going to pay for, you got to go see if they'll pay for it. So, yes, you just got to go for it, my friend. That's how you know. That's how I did it. I didn't ask somebody. I didn't go and put my stuff somewhere and said, hey, can you check this out and see if it's okay? I didn't. because I've been around acting long enough to know that for every critic that tells you you're okay, there's going to be 20 more that tell you you're not okay and you need to do something else. So the best thing to do is to see if people will buy what you're selling. Just go for it. You know what I mean? And I'm a big learn as you go kind of person, because I've also been a procrastinator, and I still am. So it makes it hard. So just push yourself over the edge and go for it. All right, man. All right. Hey, thank you guys so much for sticking around for me for this long. I know this kind of went longer. We started a little bit late today, but I really do appreciate it. You guys are incredible as always. And thank you. Stay safe. Stay healthy. I will see you tomorrow for Fiverr Friday. All right. Talk to you soon. All right, everybody. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye.